but I got that sass. Rich chick, but she don't pay tax. Fake lips, but she don't got class. Fake hitters, they don't get no pass. Talk big, but he just blow gas. Toxic, free Brit, but you not that hip. Goody running with the mob, but you just not get. Busy wrapping up a slop, yo, I see you, pig. Not a second glance, not a second chance. Oh yeah, with your man's he afraid to speak. Watch chick, keep it lit. Yeah, we done.
For almost all of my previous titles, from my first mixtape, which was Cosmic Angel, the Illuminati Princess, to my second EP that was called Betty Rebel, the Initiation, Gay Dog Food. Usually a lot of my album titles were always really like conceptually driven. You know, I come from like a multidisciplinary kind of like performance art, conceptual art background. So I used to always kind of approach my titles almost as if I was naming an artwork. And with Broken Hearts and Beauty Sleep, I wanted to, for the first time, kind of try something just that was a bit more pop and more straightforward. With in regards to the title, something that was really simple and straightforward, because that was something that that wasn't like the norm for me. So after making the track list, that was the very first time that I realized that a majority of the songs were love songs. And it had never occurred to me till I was actually creating the track list that the album really did have a theme. The theme was very much so about, you know, all of these different kind of twists and turns in what the end of a relationship is like. And so I chose Broken Hearts and Beauty Sleep because, you know, it's pretty straightforward. It's about all of kind of like the dysfunction of a relationship ending, but also kind of having this like respite, you know, and time to reflect and then move forward.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a pretty self-explanatory question. I mean, I think trust is in the eye of the beholder. I mean, for me, I think we just have to have an established relationship where, you know, we know each other's boundaries. There's a level of security, and that level of security is developed with also care and compassion. And then I think out of those things, you form trust. In the free ride video, it's actually not a marriage, it's a child's baptism.
Oh, I totally got it wrong.
Yeah, if you rewatch the video, a baby's actually being baptized. No one's getting married.
Okay. Good to know, thank you. But do you feel comfortable attending that?
Attending people's marriages? Yeah, I'm attending my best friend's marriage next month, actually.
Oh.
I love weddings. I honestly, I can't wait to plan my own. I just think it's a wonderful excuse to get people together for a few days and eat a lot of food and party. And I love situations where you can combine your family and your friends. And just as I've gotten older, you know, it's like there are aspects of your family that you know, when you're a teenager, you know, you just hang out with your friends, or, you know, but then as I've grown older, there are family members that I, you know, love to party with and would love to be able to have at a big celebration like that. Yeah, I love big celebrations. Well, that was a particular, it was actually the christening of the baby, but that was a particular, I mean, we wanted to play with that theme for the video because it was the depiction of two people who weren't necessarily the same sexuality, but that had had a child together, which is a very real world situation. And then coming out of the pandemic, we wanted to present a family gathering that would kind of speak to this rebirth of people coming out of their homes and being able to be together again. I mean, I think I was more playing with the zeitgeist of the documentary. I am a Britney fan, actually, but I mean, I'm not maybe a hardcore fan, but I mean, I I just want the best for her, and I don't want her to have a public meltdown. Like, I mean, I've always been inspired by people like Missy Elliott, Eminem, David Bowie, Prince. I think the most interesting part for me for collaborating with people is that once I finish, because I usually don't think of the feature until after I finish the song. And I think that once I finish the song, it's that really fun part of brainstorming for a few days or even a few weeks. I mean, in some cases, some of these songs, it was a few months before I had the idea to think about adding someone to the song. But when that happens, the song takes on this whole entire new life. And like, again, I say, you know, almost as if this theme of rebirth, because really the song is reborn again. Oh my God. Anna to me is, I am a super, super fan. I mean, there is just a romantic, dreamlike quality. They're whimsical. They're so detailed. They're so seductive. They're sexy. They really, I became attracted to her work because it's like world building. I love when people can create a universe for you to step into, and her drawings do that for me. I mean, they really, really create this seductive, magnetic, you know, this world full of mystique, and I want to be one of her characters. And now I am. So, I mean, it's also, I think it's so cool when artists are able to have a visual language that's attached, you know, to the release. I just think it completely creates a new character. I mean, these are kind of besides the music, which is the most important part, these are the other facets of doing this that I love so much that make it such a multidisciplinary experience. I think one of the biggest things that's changed, I mean, and we're talking since 2012, because I didn't start making music till I was 25 in 2012, which now is 10 years ago. But the world has changed so much just since 2012. And one of the biggest things that I've seen that has happened is that, you know, artists like myself and a few of my peers that were making music that felt very taboo then, you know, we really helped pioneer this new atmosphere and acceptance for queer artists. And I think that that's been really awesome to see. I think it's been really amazing. And, you know, I think it's going to be really cool for me to kind of now get to enjoy this atmosphere that I helped create, you know, this more accepting atmosphere. Because, I mean, when I started just in 2012, there were so many doors that were closed to me that I really had to push open. And so many conversations around gender and sexuality that were not mainstreamed, that we really helped push into the mainstream, you know, conversation with so many other artists at that time and over those years. So, I mean, I think that's the biggest change that's felt really positive to see. I definitely think that language can shape reality. And I think that what's been really great for me is that language has enabled me to discover so much about my identity, you know, through the use of language, and then through the actual living, you know. But being able to make sense of your place in the world is a very powerful thing. And I'm really grateful to language for that and for what it gives people. You know, if they're able to find a center or a spiritual grounding, you know, within this place we call Earth. And, you know, I just think it's such a helpful thing. So Taja Bone is a celebration of like Black French queer life. And so it's a beautiful film that was directed by a friend of mine, a choreographer, Nicholas Herchard. Um, and, uh, and so he asked me if I would create an original poem to it. And so I watched the footage, and it's just this celebration of Black life, and it takes place, particularly Black French queer life, and it takes place on a beautiful beach in Normandy, and they shot it, I think, from morning till dusk, and yeah, it's just a celebration of movement and form and light, and I basically just kind of tried to tell a story in which, through my words, and with their movements, I'm, helping to empower, my people.
Yeah, yeah. So you wrote a poem for that, and also your poems got published in the past. And is that also the original approach how you're writing your songs?
Poetry is where I got my beginning. So yeah, like poetry is where I got my beginning, and I mean, songwriting is a bit of a different muscle than poetry, but poetry usually is the foundation for a lot of what I do. When I first got to New York City, I had kind of believed that I was going to be working as a contemporary artist. And so I was really into photography. I mean, I was only 21 years old. And so the photographs that you were talking about were published when I was 21 years old. And so I did photography for a short while, for a few years. And I have actually some photos that I love to scrapbook and put together, and maybe I'll publish, one day, of friends or, some people that have become notable people. But I just think right now, because I just started working on music in such a wildly new way the last 2.5 to 3 years, I'm just completely focused on my music. For the first time, it's kind of taking precedence over the other creative arts that I have been interested in.
Okay, it's good for the ones, like for all of us who want to listen to your music, but I feel like everybody would like to see the photos sometime. Thank you very much. So that were my questions, actually.
Well, thank you so much. You have a wonderful morning. Thank you, Music Express. Broken Hearts and Beauty Sleep by me, Mykki Blanco, is out now. I hope you all are enjoying, and I hope you have a wonderful summer.